A space tag tags a selected space, while a room tag tags a selected room. You can place space tags or room tags in plans, elevations, and section views. Typically, you need the space parameters in the MEP model, but need to show the room information from the architectural model. There are a few ways to show the architectural room names and room numbers. In this case, the space tags are simply referencing the room name and room number. For example, when I select a space and scroll down in the Properties palette to the Identity Data section, you can see that the tag is indeed showing the room name and room number. With this method, you don't have to keep up with keeping the space names and numbers matched to the room names and numbers. Sometimes, architectural rooms are too large for proper MEP analysis, so additional spaces are created. However, to maintain consistency with the architectural model, you can tag rooms instead of spaces in the MEP model instead of tagging some spaces and not tagging others. You'll find the Space Tag tool on two different ribbons. On the Analyze ribbon, in the Spaces and Zones panel, and on the Annotate ribbon, in the Tag panel. The Room Tag tool also appears in this location, as well as on the Architecture ribbon, in the Room and Area panel. To see an example where you would need to tag rooms, let's divide the large corridor space into multiple spaces. To place a space separator, on the Analyze ribbon, in the Spaces and Zones panel, click Space Separator. I'll deselect Chain in the Options bar. Then, with the Line tool active, I'll sketch a line across the space on Grid E. Next, I'll sketch a vertical line down the center of the space, starting at the top near the double doors. Once the space separators have been created, I'll click Modify to in the command. At this point, we need to create spaces for the void areas. Click Space in the Spaces and Zones panel to activate the Space tool. Set the upper limit to level 2 and the offset to 0. Then toggle off Tag on Placement. Next, click in each of the 3 blank areas where the space was removed to add a new space. Once the spaces have been created, click Modify to in the command. Now there are 4 spaces in the single architectural room. For plotting views, which space do you tag? You don't want to tag all 4. Additionally, you probably want to rename the spaces with some indication of which quadrant the space is in. If you use the space information in your tags, it makes it hard to stay consistent with the architectural model. For now, let's tag the new spaces. I'll switch to the Annotate ribbon. From the Tag panel, I'll start the Space Tag tool. As soon as I do, all of the space references highlight. This makes it easier to identify any areas of the model that do not yet have spaces. When you start the tool, in the Type selector, you can choose the type of tag you want to place: a standard space tag, a tag that also includes the area, or a tag that also includes the space volume. On the Options bar, you can select the orientation of the tag: horizontal, vertical, or aligned with the model. You can also include a leader for those situations where the tag needs to actually be placed outside of the space. Also, in the Contextual ribbon, in the Host panel, there's a tool that opens a palette to show you any tags and elements in a linked model that require review. In other words, tags that have become orphaned due to changes in the linked model. I'll zoom into the corridor. To tag a space, simply move the cursor inside the space and click. After tagging one space, you can move the cursor into the next space. You immediately see a preview of the next space tag, and tags will snap into alignment. Simply click to place the next tag. I'll tag the other space and then click Modify to end the command. Now I'll select a space tag and drag it outside the building. As soon as I do, the tag fields change to question marks, and Revit displays a warning, telling me that the space tag has been moved outside its space. When I click Move to Space, the tag will move right back inside the space. Instead, I'll click OK. As you can see, the tag is still selected and still shows question marks instead of actual parameter values. In the Properties palette, I'll simply select Leader Line to turn on the leader. As soon as I do, the values get filled into the tag, and the tag now includes a leader that attaches the tag to the space. In this case, we knew what had happened, because the space tag became detached from the space as a result of our moving the tag. But space tags can become disassociated unintentionally if a space tag is placed in one view, and then a space is moved or removed in some other view. Note that Revit will display a warning when this happens, but you may not be able to see the tag if the tag is actually in another view. Now I'll tag the rooms, but I'll turn off the visibility of the space tags first. I'll open the Visibility Graphic Overrides dialog for the current view. On the Annotation Categories tab, I'll turn off space tags and then click OK. To tag the rooms, you could use the Room Tag tool, but you can also use the Tag All Not Tagged tool to tag all of the rooms that have not yet been tagged. In the Tag panel, I'll click Tag All. Revit displays the Tag All Not Tagged dialog. Pay attention to the All Objects in Current View radio button. When you select objects before starting the Tag All Not Tagged tool, you can limit the tagging to just the objects you selected. You also need to select Include Elements from Linked Files so you can tag the rooms in the linked model. Also note that in the Leader section, you can enable a leader, and that in the Orientation section, you can preset the tag orientation. In the category list, room tags appear 2 times, once for each type of room tag. I'll select Room Tags, Room Tag, and then click OK. When I do, a dialog appears stating that the visibility of rooms is turned off in the current view, but they will be turned on to create the tags. To continue, I'll click Yes. All of the untagged rooms are now tagged. So as you can see, you have several options to tag spaces and rooms.